What's happening, everybody? I want to talk about something pretty real today, a little bit humbling. Documentary. I made it through. It's 2 hours long. And I'm going to talk about it. It's about Puerto Rico, but it's also, there's some stuff in there about some gratitude. It's actually a gentleman by the name of StreetGonzo. He is, I believe he lives in, I don't want to say where he lives, because if anybody that works for some of these big companies, I mean, it's insane, the corruption that you will find out in Puerto Rico if you watch this documentary. I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm going to get into it, and I'm also going to talk about the positive of one of the families in there. Please share this video, simply because I did put a link in it, which will therefore completely screw up any chance or algorithm that people will see it, because I put an external link to the documentary, which I will tell you was probably what I love documentaries, probably one of the best documentaries I've seen. It won't get a lot of I mean, it's got decent traction because he was actually on Laura Loomer last night. It's not going to get mass traction just off of YouTube. I'm sure it's going to be, there's a lot of big money that is involved in the corruption of Puerto Rico that you will learn if you watch the documentary. But it's fascinating. It's good stuff. I'm going to get into it in a second. First, as you guys know, if you saw any of my social media, the first Yay Sports hats have been shipped. We're shipping more this week. I'm going to get the pickup for the red and white, or I'm sorry, the black and red and the black and white hats, which means all 8 hats will be ready to ship as we go. Please go to yaysportsgear.com. Also, if anybody's watching that wants to do me a solid that's good with contract law, we're trying to, as you guys know, I'm trying to set up a crowdfund. I'm working with a company named Mr. Crowd. It is a very, very, very heavy agreement document, and I might need some legal. I've already had basic legal look. Anyways, it's enough to where I can't sign it without a little bit of help. If anybody is a lawyer or whatever it is, and you want a free hat or two, I would love that, because it's a heavy document. Anyways, besides that, go to @AnthonyMichaelRusso to see all the different things I'm doing. And I've got a free speaking webinar coming up in two week and a half, Monday, the 22nd of December. Go to GetBetteratspeaking.com. It's free. I talk about 1 hour of key stuff that will make you a better speaker, just like that, on top of the other stuff I do charge for and offer. That is a free one. Would love to see you guys there. Again, that's 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday, December 22nd. Go to GetBetterAtSpeaking.com. Let's get into the daily truth. I'm Anthony Michael Russo. StreetGonzo is a friend or acquaintance with a buddy of mine, Billy Greenberg from high school. What's up, Billy Greenberg? He actually lives right now in Puerto Rico, and I believe as though he knows the guy from the documentary. I don't know if I mean, honestly, it was so earth-shattering what's going on in Puerto Rico since Hurricane Maria, which was either 7 or 8 years ago at this point. I don't understand how these are American citizens. People forget this about Puerto Rico. There are still people, and when I say don't have reliable water or power since then, like, some of them just don't have power since then. It hasn't been fixed. And don't forget that the Trump administration, I believe, sent $9 billion to repair it, to which the company there went bankrupt, to which the new electricity company has ties in America, as they are funded by Qantas and one other big corporation. It's fishy. There's so many details in there that you have to check out and you have to watch if you want to learn what's going on out there. It's absolutely insane. While we're doing this, please like this video, share this video, do all said things with this video. I do want to get into a positive, because there's and it's a negative, but it's a positive, because if anybody watches this portion of the video with a guy by the name of Rudy, and I'll give more of the details of the infrastructure issues there in a second, but I want to talk about the positive. I want to talk about Rudy. I want to talk about this guy that lives in a home that so most of the people, maybe I need a preface. Most people out there have backup generators for their homes. They have one of the highest costs for electricity per kilowatt hour in the country, behind it really just Hawaii, from what I understand. And these people they'll go days without power. It'll just cut out. The infrastructure has never been rebuilt. That $9 billion, for the most part, has never been spent, and a lot of it's been misappropriated to big money New York lawyers that they talk about in the documentary, and they provide receipts. Mind-boggling. And these people are happy to be out there. And there was a moment that he talked about Tony Hinchcliffe's comment about a floating pile of garbage. Oh no, that's Puerto Rico, to which most of them that live in Puerto Rico are actually not offended by. They love Puerto Rico. They love being Puerto Rican. They love everything about it, but they also understand the political situation, the shadow government situation, the corruption, the lack of give a crap for the people in Puerto Rico by their own government. They understand that, and they also have issues with trash. I mean, there's all those things cross board. So most people there have a backup generator because their power will cut out for a day at a time, a few hours at a time. This is still, and they said it was actually ongoing far before Hurricane Maria, but since then it got massively worse. And then it's like, if you want to get gas, so it's incredibly expensive. The average yearly salary of a Puerto Rican is like $20,000. Their electricity is almost as high as Hawaii. Think about how you can afford that. The guy Rudy in this film, they've got a generator, to which it's so ridiculously loud to run a generator in a home. You also have to go pick up gas at the gas station. It's not like America that you can just go in and out of. You actually have to wait in an hour-long line up the street to fill up your gas can to come, and then to fills it up for 4 hours at a time with money that you really don't have. This is how the average Puerto Rican lives based on this documentary, and based on checking with my friend that lives out there. That is about the way that it is. And even people that have money have to deal with backup generators and have stuff because their grid is so ridiculously broken. But Rudy, with 3 children, a wife, a home, that he has to, he calls it Dixie chain, take power because the generator's too loud. It takes a Dixie chain power to his father's home, which he bought next to him, that does have working power, and use cords to power his own home when they can. And then, of course, his father's home goes out quite often as well. Because of the way they do their power, they burn up their electronics, like refrigerators and different stuff like that. And they burn up, if they have TVs, they're very rare, and it melts them because the power in the home isn't structured correctly. And of course, the power from when there's so many flashes and stuff like that, it's incredibly dangerous. How the house hasn't burnt down, I have no idea. And they can't fix all the flooding going on in the home. And I think that this is a common thing. Rudy can't get help from FEMA because Rudy was a veteran, which I don't even understand how that works. So FEMA's broken when they're supposed to help the country. The electrical grid is broken when we bailed them out, and they don't know how to spend the money. Well, they do know how to spend it. They spend it on themselves and government. It is a horrible situation. Now I want to talk about the positive of Rudy and his family. His kids love their mom and dad more than life, and talk. There's a scene where they talk about the gratitude that they have and how they would rather have this than money, and because they see some of the kids that are wealthy and how unhappy they are, how they really simply do not like life. When these kids just are happy, they're joyful, they take what they can. Of course, they'd want it to be easier. Same with Rudy. He loves the fact that he loves his family, loves his kids, doesn't want to leave this home. He just rebuilds it when he can. So he's a disabled veteran that fought for the military. Fought for military. I don't know which branch. And through the ability to barely have running water, to barely ever have electricity, to have almost no appliances, talks about how much he appreciates God and how much he has gratitude toward life and how he wouldn't trade his family for anything. And that's the most important thing to him. If you are living in the 50 United States, not Puerto Rico, and you're complaining, and you're part of the 99% of people that are probably better off than him as a Puerto Rican, I want you to watch that bit. I want you to watch it. It's a little after an hour. I want you to watch what he lives in and how much his family loves him and how much he loves his family. And I want you to check yourself for the gratitude and the gifts that you are given on a daily basis in what is still the greatest country in the world. But Puerto Rico obviously is not part of, they're not being taken care of like everyday Americans. And the other thing is a lot of people in that country operate on food stamps. Little fun fact, used for the purpose of actually what they need. And the worst part is because the electrical grid is so bad that when they go and buy food for weeks at a time, if the power goes out for an extended day or two, which is common, all of the food that they bought with the minimal nominal food stamps that they have spoils. It's a rough situation out there, and it is based on infrastructure. It is based on a failure. It is based on a government out there that misappropriates funds so badly. So, um, that's what I want. And I just want you to watch the documentary. I donated today. I told my buddy Billy, I'm like, I want to give a Christmas gift to Rudy if possible. And he's like, let me see if they're going to start a GoFundMe. They did. I'm not telling you to go donate to the GoFundMe. I want you to watch the documentary first. And I think the GoFundMe is linked in the documentary. Now, if you need, reach out to me on Instagram. If you're looking for it, I will give you that GoFundMe. But I'm like, this guy is happier than 90% of the people that I know. And he lives worse than 99.9% of the people that I know. So sometimes the most powerful part of a story isn't the suffering, it's the response that we have to it. So gratitude doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It thrives in the hardest ones. That's what I got for you guys. Again, the guy's name is StreetGonzo, young documentary filmmaker. I hope that my buddy Billy sets, I think that we might have a chance to maybe meet. I want to meet the guy. And he also wants to be very clear that he is not ever considering ending his own life, because I said, and he actually put in his one of his posts, I had a back and forth with my buddy Billy. I'm like, he's never gonna be allowed in Puerto Rico again. He'll be arrested, he'll be killed, one of the two. And even in the United States, Qantas, who funds a lot of Luma, who owns a lot of Luma, is a pretty big player out in Texas, the South. It's a little sketchy. Anyways, I encourage you to watch it. Again, I love documentaries, and this one was 2 hours and 5 minutes. I watched it over a span of a couple of days because I'm only have so much time. It's like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here. I could have sat and watched that documentary and tell you it is one of the best documentaries you will ever watch. Period. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day, weekend. Again, so I'll be making more videos because it gets close to the date, but the 22nd, please join me on my free speaking webinar. GetBetteratspeaking.com is where you register. It is free. I'll give a gift at the end. Fun little bot that I created, AI bot. Anyways, at Anthony Michael Russo, Yay Sports Gear. It's officially for sale. Go to yaysportsgear.com. Shout out to Casey for building a killer website that the guy's gifted. Okay, guy's gifted. Do I have anything else for you guys? It felt longer than 12 minutes. Still drinking my coffee. A lot of good stuff. That's it. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Charlie, we've got it from here. Candace, you're nuts. What else do I got? Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Where's the end button? There it is.